90-Day Hunt for Love. We know this show first premiered last year and it has now been confirmed to return for a new season. At this moment in time, we know that they are currently filming in Puerto Rico, and we also know which cast members are going to be involved. Now, it's already been reported that allegedly Razvan was removed purely because of an altercation that went down between him and Jamal. But now we have something different. We have a petition where people want Stephen Friend to be removed from 90 Day Fiance, to be removed from Hunt for Love. And let's get into why. This person came out by saying, I can't speak for everyone, but I am really exhausted seeing cast members with troubling behavior keep getting brought back onto the show. I like to push back against that, even in a small way. Stephen Friend's treatment of Olga and their children, both in the past and more recently, feels deeply unsettling. And at times even crosses into what many would consider abusive. After their first child was born, he focused on his own needs, criticizing Olga for not giving him enough attention, and even threatening to take the baby somewhere she couldn't go. More recently, he appears to be avoiding his responsibilities as a co-parent. On top of that, there have been some ongoing patterns that came across as gaslighting, manipulation, and verbal mistreatment. Having been in a similar situation myself, this is something I strongly resonate with. Even if this doesn't gain traction or gets overlooked or removed, I feel it's important to try. I respect that. I've come across other posts and comments from people who feel the same way, and I wanted to speak up for those of us who would like to keep enjoying the show without this cast member making it harder to watch what's supposed to be a fun, guilty pleasure. I mean, let's be real, when it comes to a fun, guilty pleasure, this is something that hasn't really been this is something that has been quite inconsistent with TLC, because sometimes they bring people on and we enjoy the guilty pleasure. And then sometimes they bring people on where you're like, why? But why? And then other times they bring back people that were like, why? But why? And this is one of those situations where they brought someone back. But I wanted to get into some of the comments here as well. Okay? First person, he says, I don't want to see him either. I'm not gonna watch. Someone else says, same here. It is insane how much TLC is complicit in, but it drives engagement, which is all they care about. Now, someone else says the petition isn't going to do anything. The filming already happened. You need a Taylor Frankie Paul type situation for it to be cancelled, and TLC finally knocking it the F off with platform abusers, which is something that we've been wishing for a long time. But here's the thing though, guys. The most important comment here is the one where this person says multiple petitions like this were what kept Angela on 90 Day Fiance for years. The biggest one had almost 100,000 signatures. Sharp sees it as high viewer engagement and rewards them even more. It's only contract or legal infractions that can get them yanked off the air. And this is the sad truth. This is why we've had people like the Angela Dean come back, people like Big Ed, Jasmine, because these are the people that will do things that we would see as you should be removed, but they see it as this is giving us viewer or high viewer attention, whatever you want to call it. And this is the sad part of it, isn't it now? Now, listen, I hope the petition can do something. I hope one day a form of petition can do something. But, these contracts and these companies that have got billions of dollars and, and they have like these lawyers with things that can really back them. It is always going to be too much of an ask for them to care. Because all they care about is the money that's going through their pockets rather than how they're potentially damaging viewers or damaging themselves or whatever the backlash could be. But nonetheless, though, I would like to know your thoughts on the matter, so please do let me know in the comment section. Now we're going to move on to the next one. Now, I saw a post about a month ago now, or maybe less than a month ago, to be fair, probably about 3 weeks ago, okay? And in this post in particular, this is one regarding Trisha being pregnant. Now, at the time I saw this post, and I was like, I just don't know where this picture originated from because I couldn't find the picture. And also on top of that, I just wasn't too sure if it's AI because, well, it looks like Trisha, but then it doesn't to me, right? But then I decided, but whilst I was doing my investigation to see if I could find out if this was true, I came across an article. And then this article here had a picture of Trisha again. But the thing that I found interesting between this picture and this picture was too much of resemblance. Example, you see this back room here? This whole thing here is exactly the same as what's here. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes we all have places where we hang our coats. But for us to hang our coats or our jackets or whatever we want to hang, for it to be pretty much in the exact same position. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like it hasn't moved an inch, but then again, maybe it has never been moved. Maybe the pictures were both taken the same day. But I was like, I still haven't seen this on the social platforms. And then also on top of that, when we're looking at the facial expressions, where the phone is held, which again, maybe little details that you think, but again, they were just too similar. And then also on top of that, we're looking at the watch, the jewelry, everything. I was just like, but why would she post a picture twice? I don't know. And also NDA wise, you wouldn't be able to do this. So therefore I said, you know what, this can't be true. Maybe this is just AI and, people are just choosing to believe what AI says. But then at the same time, there was also another post earlier on that I did comment on. Now, this post stuff in particular is another one that's actually referenced here. And this one here, as you can see, some key bits. But it does talk about word in the street is Trisha is allegedly pregnant, but not by Rick. So it is something that I did allude to earlier on in the season. But now, I feel like we have the confirmation that we desire, the confirmation that we need, the confirmation that says, yes, she is pregnant. So, when it comes to episode 21, Tell-All, part 2, tensions erupt at the Tell-All finale. When explosive accusations come to light, Daniel confronts Lisa about cheating. Molly questions Sheena's future in the US. Trisha reveals the father of her baby. And Emma calls out Elise for crossing a line with a man she wants. That sounds rather juicy. I have no idea why I said it that way. It sounds a bit suspect still. As the Americans would say, pause. Some will even say no diddy. But either way, as we can see right here, there's a lot of things being revealed here. I wonder if you guys can take a guess who the father may be for Trisha's baby. My guess is going to be potentially her ex. Who do you think it could be? Now, to be fair though, I'm more interested in a story regarding Daniel confronting Lisa about cheating. Now that looks exciting. But with that being said, I would like to know your thoughts on that itself in particular here. Alright? And also, I'm just happy that Trisha is not pregnant with Rick's baby. But the tell-all might also reveal that yes, she is pregnant with who? With Rick's baby. Which we really hope is not going to be the case. Now before we finish the video, we've got one more little article to talk about here. And this is all about Josh. Seen a lot of Elise hate, but not enough about Josh. So this person came out by saying Elise gets hate on her wardrobe choices and being dumb, and we need to examine Josh's behavior. He has a lot of dark energy and rage towards her. He's secretly gay with Chris. Interesting. He lied about his living situation. He told Elise he loved her solely to appease her after the FaceTime with his son fell through, which I believe was because he's been an absent father and the son or mother didn't feel comfortable. I'm inclined to believe that. I also think he has a coke addiction, substance addiction. And that is the dealer, which is crazy. First picture of him on substance, second picture of him not on substance. So this is the first picture where this person believes that he's currently high. And this is the second where they believe that he's not. I mean, do what you will with that information. Picture 1 of him not being on substance. Picture 2 on him being on substance. Can you spot the difference? Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm not the best necessarily when it comes to spotting people on substances because it's not something that I was really exposed to, you know. I really avoided people like that in my whole entire life. But also on top of that, someone said, where have you been? Every Elise post mentions what a loser he is. We hate him we hate them equally for different reasons. Tons of posts talk about how he seems like a non-present or even deadbeat dad. Others talk about him probably being on the substance. Others talk about him being a frat boy. People said it makes no sense why Elise even bothered to visit, because it didn't take going to Australia to know that he is a loser. But nowhere near the wild criticism of Elise. The commentary about Josh is more passive, like who cares? While we pick apart and post pictures of even the way Elise puts her fingers in her mouth, it's wild. It's a very good point. This is what I've been saying. It's like the women with loads of posts about them, about some random thing, like the way they say a word with hundreds of upvotes or nasty comments, then barely anything about the men. They don't even get picked apart to the extent the women do. This sub has normalized the hatred of women, and I'm going to continue to call it out. It's beyond lame. Someone posted a photo of Sophie in a bikini and went on and on about how she could see her surgery scars and she's not natural. She's literally never claimed to be. It's given jealous, and yes, it's common to have scars from surgery. That is a very real thing. And to be fair, it's a very fair point. That's why I feel like it was needed to be read. If people are going to criticize fairly, you know. But to be fair, I see the same thing even with some bloggers, you know. There are some bloggers out there that when they criticize women compared to how they criticize men, yeah, you can definitely tell a big difference in how they feel. And for me personally, it's quite disgusting and quite disturbing. And I'm like, why do people actually follow so people do these kind of things? And that's not me trying to call out anyone. I'm just saying it's what I see too, you know what I mean? If I wanted to call people, I would stick people's names, you know, but you do you, and I do me, you know what I'm saying? But either way though, it is only fair that if people are going to be critical on all fronts. That's why I do my best. I'm not perfect, but I do my best to be a devil's advocate in all fronts. That's why sometimes you have me, for example, the famous one, I will happily criticize Angela, but also on top of that, I would also happily criticize Michael. But a lot of people didn't want to hear about the Michael criticism, you know what I'm saying? But they're happy to hear the Angela criticism. Same thing with Gina and Jasmine. You know, I was more than happy to call out Jasmine, but at the same time, I was also happy to call out Gino for his BS as well. You know what I mean? So there is that part too. So end of the day, people should definitely do a better job at being the devil's advocate and being as fair as possible. And don't get me wrong, sometimes a certain female may do some really messed up things, and I'll happily be like, yo, you did this, and that. And then sometimes the man can do some really messed up things, and I'll be like, yeah, you did this, and that. You know what I mean? For example, this season, Javon and Annalyn. I've definitely called out Annalyn for her BS, but I've also called out Javon for his BS. You know what I mean? But this is one of the things that I do enjoy about our community here on this page, is that I do find for the most part, a lot of people, when you do comment, you're very like me, where you do play, you know, devil's advocate, where you happily call out the person who has been moving mad in that specific video, and the person that's been moving, and the person that has been reality ready in that specific video, which is what I always love and appreciate about you lovely peoples. But either way though, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and we'll most certainly talk about it. And please don't forget to like, hype, and subscribe on your way out, and please have a great day.